Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching Attack on Titan.
I'm nervous.
3, episode 11.
See, so nervous that I cut in front of him saying what episode it was.
Yeah, I'm nervous too. A lot's gonna happen at some point in the show. I don't know. I'm nervous.
I think I'm nervous because we had a slight break.
Yeah.
Before getting back into the show.
Yes, it's been about a week since we've recorded, which is very bizarre to us.
So I feel like a little I was growing very accustomed to being in front of a camera and recording, and it's so interesting how easy that can like reset.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my god, the camera's looking at me.
I feel that very much. But quick recap. Probably not going to be quick, but it's a recap nonetheless. We got a bit of Kenny's backstory and relationship, dare I say friendship, with Yuri.
You do dare.
I dare. Yuri is seemingly, he knows or is very confident that the world will crumble. And we don't know what he means by that. And I don't know how he knows that. Is this information passed down from the first king? Is this an educated guess? Is this something that he has set into motion himself? Can he see the future?
Can he see the lines of
oracle?
Fate? Yeah.
We don't know.
Is it just crumbling of the world as they know it, and it's not actually like...
Is it a global warming thing? We don't know.
Dinosaurs coming back?
Honestly, it could be any of those things. All are meteors? Equally likely.
Something other than Titans?
That's a good one.
I mean, remember that opening where we saw all those dinosaurs walking with the Titans and
it
giant animals?
They wouldn't give us that for no reason.
No, that was literal.
But throughout that episode, we also got a bit of, I think, like, I was going to say closure, but just like a nice touch to Levi's story and personality through the Ackerman reveal. He
unlocked a lot of information about himself in that episode. He learned a lot. I don't know what he's going to do with any of that information, what it's causing internally, but all I know is that it's probably to his benefit because he has a very soft smile at the end of the episode when Historia and everyone else is walking towards him, and it's a soft smile that we've probably only seen once.
With Ferlin and Isabel on the wall before devastation. So I'm extremely worried.
You know, when people are happy in the show,
that's when you have to worry.
Yeah, be a little worried.
Privately, Anna and I were talking about like the relationship between Mikasa and Levi and if that's going to change at all. And
I believe that it is even slightly going to change.
I was like, at first, I was like, nah, it's not going to change at all, dude. Like, yeah, sure, they just found out that they're related, but it's not deep. Like, they're just going to continue on as characters. That's going to be a cool cherry on top, whatever. But then in my own personal life, I'm adopted, and I found out that my biological parents were people who I grew up with and knew. So, like, once I put myself in that perspective, I can, like, draw a potential, like, similarity there. And I'm like, holy shit, that changed everything. I am so with you. Like, yeah, I feel like things are going to change.
Like, think about them as in their personalities. They're not going to start hugging each other and being like, we're going to treat each other as brother and sister, even though we're cousins. You know, you're not going to have that, like, super affectionate.
The characters aren't going to change.
They're not going to change. But the characters themselves have already seemingly flawlessly been able to both fight beside each other at the same quickness, speed, precision. I could just see it being like strengthening that bond they have in a fight where they're just back to back and they're in sync in their minds more. Yeah. They can understand the other person's motives more, their other person's what's happening internally. They obviously both have this like inhuman super strength thing that happens inside of them. They can understand each other better. And the only issue I have is that this would be the last family member of that family alive. And I would be worried how either of them would feel if the other one was in danger. Yeah. If that is your literal last Ackerman other than yourself in front of you about to die.
Yeah.
So it could lead to some possible close calls.
That is what the show is full of.
Yes. I just couldn't see them dropping that and connecting them without using it for something other than just something on the surface, like a sprinkle. Like, oh, hey, yeah, they're cousins, but that means nothing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it has to do something to the characters. I mean, they're all people. Like, they're all not real people, but they're based with real human emotions and moral dilemmas. And
I have a question for you, a little off topic, but remember at I think the season 1 finale, the mid-roll about the person who dug and like hit something under the wall. Mm-hmm. Now that we know of like the crystal church underground area, do you think that was it? Like he just touched the crystal from that?
I could totally see that being the case, and it's obvious that he was killed by the interior police.
Yeah. Interesting. But okay, 2 more things before we start. Historia, bittersweet because I think that she is going to be, for lack of a better term, benched because she's the queen. Like you're not going to have a queen going out.
They're not going to let her out.
Yeah.
Now.
But bittersweet because she's my favorite character. Part of me doesn't want to see her go. She's one of my favorite characters, probably, but I think that it might do her a disservice if they try to force her in the story. Mm. So as long as that they like if she's in a great spot right now, you could be like, okay, we have to go to this mission, take care of like the inner circle as well as you can.
It's great for world building and the stability of this world that they're trying to rebuild in a healthier way for humanity. It is very beneficial to have the person in charge match up with ideals, or at least have a good relationship with the other people that are either calling shots on their own in the different branches of the military, or the ones out there working for the sake of humanity.
Yep. And then we ended off last episode with Reiner and Bert Holt getting beat. They wanted to go save Bert's girl. Didn't happen. And Orangutan came out of his fur and said that they're going to be waiting there for Aaron. It's only a matter of time.
It's true, though. It's only a matter of time. We've been waiting.
Yeah. Anna and I both are kind of in the same boat, that we think that he's related to Grisha, but on different sides of the boat a little bit. Like we're rowing our own like side.
Oh yeah, so like paddle. We're not going anywhere. We're just going in circles. We're
yes.
both competing.
But I think you believe that he might be like a brother to Grisha, and I think like he Aaron's might be uncle. Just like a relative, whether it's like a descendant of Grisha's, like whether son, grandson, great grandson, or just cousin even. Because I don't know how long Grisha was a Titan.
Shows often throw parallels in, even if you don't notice. And we had Levi finding out he had an uncle last episode. And then at the end, we see the Beast Titan again. He's waiting for Aaron to come to them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do we got another uncle thing here? Possibly, you know. And there were other,
like Full House, uncles everywhere.
Everyone's related. There were other reasons that we're not going to go into, that we talked about in the discussion of why we were connecting Beast Titan to having some familial connection possibly to Grisha and Aaron. We're not going to obviously regurgitate all of that again.
But
because we could be totally wrong.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit, Grisha did kind of look like Danny Tanner. I think that Orangutan kind of looks like Joey, Dave Coulier. Mm. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's all making sense now.
It's making so much sense now.
Right in the nostalgia.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have you.
Yeah.
Sweet. Bystander. Oh.
The cattle farming goddess.
I love that.
Love it. I love that they're still calling her a goddess, even though they know all of her truth.
Me too.
What does Levi always say? Just make sure you can live with whatever choice you make.
No regrets.
Oh, jealous. Historia knows.
Wow.
Whoa! They're using it as a light source? They're using it to trap them.
And drop a log on its head. Oh! That's pretty sick. Executioner from Hell.
It's the perfect title for her. Make weapons. Are they gonna make weapons out of the material?
That's smart if they do.
So Hitches didn't join the scouts. He wouldn't. Idiot.
You broke up with her. They've seen some shit.
Oh, they've all had to battle real people and not just titans. Oh, does he go often?
Does bring up an interesting question. What is going on in their head? We talked about him.
We were like, he has to be significant if they're showing us this guy running away.
Was he there when you turned?
Oh
shit.
My god.
He
just
mentioned Grisha. He said
knew Grisha. What?
Holy shit.
12th commander of the scout regiment.
Interesting. Shit.
He was probably waiting for Aaron to come looking for him. Only a handful of months and they've changed so much. In the grand scheme of things. So he's the bystander.
志願しなく壁門の目前に彼はいた。どうやって壁を越えてきた？
あなたたちこそ壁の外で何を戦っているのか？
彼はなぜ壁の外にいるのか覚えていなかった。記憶を一切なくしていたのだ。グリシャ・イエーガーという
無許可で巨人領域に足を踏み入れた罪とはね。わざわざ
Hans.
バカがお前ら調査兵団にぶち込む方はないか。
Look how young Hans is.
I know.
とにかく報告はなしだ。
Let's not report it.
名前以外にも覚えていることがある。私は医者だ。病院を紹介してくれ。私に教えてくれないか？調査兵団。あなたたちのことを。
He doesn't know anything.
The
About
scouts in
them.
particular.
この壁の中は平和なんだな。少なくとも巨人に怯え。
あんたもそう思うのか？それで満足な部類の人間らしい。会えたこともない。
Is that Aaron's mom?
Yeah,
あなたが
I
壁
think
の
so.
中で出ていく理由はそれか？が調査兵団。
そうだ。
あなたたちはこの壁の誰よりも賢く勇気がある。人類の誇りそのものだ。
誇り？
ああ。
It's definitely Aaron's mom.
違うぞ、カルラ。
Carla.
いや、私なんぞに務ま。調査兵団はもっと特別な選ばれし者でないと。
そんなことを言われたのは初めてだった。壁外拠点はいつできる？さえなれば成果は出せる。
Easy to say.
凡人どもの微量な脳みそでやがて皆が私を認める。彼らも例の伝染病だ。
I remember they
Yep.
talked about the plague at the very beginning of the show.
大丈夫。みんな助かるよ。
愛が起き上がりました。
What knowledge does he have?
Did he like Aaron's mom? He did.
He tried to build a base, but like,
カルラ、この子は？
エレン、男の子です。夫も心配してました。
ああ。
このまま死ぬまで続けるつもりですか？
なぜ凡人は何もせず死ぬまで生きていられるかわかるか？力に乏しいからだ。その結果、何も成し得ず、ただでを恥じることもない。偉業を成し遂げること、いや、次第、男に愛想を振りまき、酒をついで回るしか取り柄のないものなんぞに。
Oh.
人は何も成し遂げなかった。
There's Aaron in the background.
特別な人間はいる。自分ではなかったというだけのこと。ウォールマリアが破られた。志願しろ。お前だったな。
起きろエレン。母さんは一緒じゃないのか？
母さんが巨人に食われた。
エレン。母さんの仇を。
待て。どこへ行く？
ついてこないでくれ。
お前が撃てばいいだろう。カルラの仇を。なんせお前は特別だからな。その子も違うんじゃないのか。選ばれし者じゃないかもしれないぞ。また人に呪いをか
Are
け
you
る
to
のか。
curse someone else now?
この子は私の子だ。どうか頼む。関わらないでくれ。
雷。
Did he?
he's the one who found Aaron.
は気絶していたお前を避難所の寝床に戻した。私の知るすべてだ。
それだけ。
I'm sure there's some things in there that could be good for humanity.
退いた本当の理由が分かりました。死んでいった部下への贖罪ではないとかどうとか言った。そんな幼稚な理由で効果なんかどうでもいい。現実から逃げる心臓を捧げるとはそういうことだろう。
俺は特別でも何でもなかった。特別な父親の息子だった。それだけだったんです。
お前の母さんは、カルラはこう言っていた。
特別じゃなきゃいけないんですか？私はそうは思いませんよ。少なくともこの子は偉大になんてならなくてもいい。人より優れていなくたって。だって見てくださいよ。こんなに可愛い。だからこの子はもう偉いんです。この世界に生まれてきてくれたんだから。
お前は父親が願ったように自らの命を燃やし壁の外で燃え尽きるのだろう。
Did he fuck with the ODM gear?
Was it in order to give him that resolve to prove that he was special?
何も
Or just a sabotage? He did just try to sabotage.
の傍観者だ。
What?
Wow. I have like a weird feeling. I can't describe it.
I know.
So that was Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 11. I have a weird feeling.
He has weird feelings.
Well,
guys.
like, it's not, like, it's a little bit, it's weird because it's a little bit, like, positive. Like...
Well, I would definitely say the tonal ending to that episode was positive. I mean, we had, like, choir children singing, going la 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 kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was... And it seemed like Eren had this regained identity almost upon leaving, because he was, for the most part of the episode, very blank.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes were very blank.
Mumbling to himself.
Very lost in thought, lost in... It was kind of weird to see that happen after he kind of punched himself together.
Yeah.
Last episode, I was like, oh, interesting.
2 months have passed.
Yeah.
Orangutan, I'm hoping, has food, so they can, like, chill comfortably there for this long wait. But the cattle farming goddess has been doing some awesome work, dude.
I mean, she's never gonna not be a goddess. Obviously, everybody has called her that, and it makes me happy that people still call her that, even though now she can be her true, like, personality and true self. And not just try to be that goddess type where she's kind to everyone. And it was the princess that would basically sing in the wilderness and birds would come fly and land on her arm kind of energy.
Disney.
You know?
Yeah.
Disney. And it's really nice to hear similar and the same descriptors still used for her, even though she's being her true self now. There was some jealousy there. And then, like, she kind of blushed at Eren, and then Mikasa showed up. I was like, does she have a crush on Eren? I mean, I've been wondering that for a little while. I thought Annie had a crush on Eren for a bit.
I'm with you. Was it like I'm mad you're not taking it easy on yourself, or was there that jealousy, upset you're getting along so well with Historia?
It just seemed too perfectly timed with Historia's blushing to not have a hint of jealousy on Mikasa's part. And speaking of relationships, Marlo is in the same boat as Eren with not being too talented at picking up if people like them or not.
That's fair. I'm gonna miss Hitch. I like her design a lot.
I think that Hitch is a character to possibly bring back and use once Annie resurfaces into the story.
Oh, that's a great idea. Good question. Can Annie uncrystallize herself?
That's a really good question, because wouldn't you think that all of the Titans that are within the walls could break out and wake up? But if she's in complete darkness, to her it might be complete darkness in there. So she might just be asleep.
When did we get the midroll? Do you know?
Mm-mm. I didn't get a chance to read it.
It was about the
Was it while
log.
he was talking? Like while the commandant, what? How do you say that? Commandant?
Commandant.
My father's gonna be so not proud of me for butchering military terms.
I'm not sure where I got it, where it was. I can't seem to find it at the moment. Maybe we'll stumble across it.
We'll find it eventually.
But yeah, we got Connie wanting to go back to his village, and that whole like, is there a way to turn people back?
I mean, and Aaron brings up a great point about how you have to feel now with the knowledge you have about Titans, about the fact that you're killing them. Because with killing them, you're actually killing the person that it was turned into that's chances of ever coming back to life.
Yeah.
So you're basically killing a person. Honestly, maybe that's why they just set up walls and didn't create scouts. It's because they knew that if you killed the Titans, you'd be killing people. And so it was better to just kind of create a zoo and kind of section them off so you didn't have to deal with them and didn't have to kill them.
Well, I am like confused how to think and feel in regards to Grisha now. Because like what are you all doing outside the wall? There's obvious knowledge that the walls are here, right? Mm-hmm. Because what my eggs were in the basket of Grisha coming from another society, being turned into a Titan, and then eating a Titan and like being like, what's this? But the what are you all doing outside the wall implies that he knows of the wall. Whether it was 200 years ago, he got thrown off the same wall and time has passed, or another civilization knows of this one.
I think Grisha possibly gave us more evidence to him being in the same, at least, timeline as the Beast Titan, with neither of them knowing about the scouts or the equipment used by the scouts.
And that's what it is, though. What Grisha was surprised about most was the idea of the scouts and people going out. Yes.
And I don't know. I feel like there's so much to unpack. Like, Grisha obviously wasn't lying when he said that the scouts were the pride of humanity for what they were doing. But you'd think if he knew and had the conscious idea that those Titans out there were people, would he really be a fan of the scouts? I don't know. Well, it's interesting.
It depends. Are we believing that Grisha actually lost his memory?
Probably not all of it. He says, I remember one thing. I was a doctor. And I'm like, I feel like you remember at least a few more things.
Because we didn't really get it with Reiner Berthold, but Ymir remembered her past.
Yeah, well, we also don't know how long it took Ymir to remember her past. We didn't meet her like kind of right away and spend some time with her right after turning back into a person. So we don't know how long it possibly took to unlock her memories and for them to resurface.
Yeah.
After awaking from the nightmare. So it could be that obviously Grisha has just now gotten out of that jail cell, and this is the first time he's probably at a bar.
Yeah.
A tavern. He might not have remembered anything yet, and by the time that he tells the commandant that he was a doctor, he could be purposefully withholding some things at that point. He's definitely gray. I wouldn't say that he would tell this guy everything if he remembered anything.
Yeah. Why Aaron and not Grisha? I think he brings up Keith, right? I think he brings up a good point, like a good question at least.
Yeah, why are you telling your child that they have to avenge the mother when you are still alive? I feel like a lot of people would be kind of confused by that. Like, why are you putting these expectations and this life-threatening job onto your own child?
Well, the whole idea that Grisha went into the woods with Aaron, I think proves that Grisha didn't forget his, does remember his past. Because...
At least at this point.
Yes, because he knows then, like how to.
He had to
Give Eren
remember
that
a
power.
decent amount if the basement's important.
Yes, exactly.
He had to have some memories and or have unlocked some of his memories for the basement to be of any importance.
I'm like, so Grisha, I think Grisha was a doctor, like was doing so well because he had advanced knowledge of like medicine or healing, or he was curing these people in like a seemingly like.
We've also talked about how we don't technically know maybe how long someone who has someone could have lived within that form.
Yes.
And I don't
Age
know,
and
like,
disease.
if you think about illnesses and plagues, I feel like throughout history, plagues can either come back or there's strains that are similar. And so in his other civilization or in the past, he might have faced something that was almost identical to whatever this plague was.
That's what I'm thinking. But just like, why give it to Eren? Like, is it like, because Yuri was faced with age and disease, right? Like, if it does take its own toll on you, being like having the ability to turn into Titans.
Well, we know it creates like nosebleeds and stuff like that from Eren. So.
Yeah, which I was like, like at the time, as it having some effect on him. But Grisha lived pretty long.
I would
Granted,
say
he didn't
probably
turn.
the 40s.
Maybe it's like the more you turn, the more it takes its toll on you.
Yeah, and I don't think he turned again until fighting Frida.
Agree.
Waking up and then fighting Frida. Unless the basement is a lot bigger than we think it might be.
Well, okay.
Maybe he did some training down there.
What was the catalyst for going to Frida and getting the power then?
He found out that they had it and they weren't using it. He wanted his son to be able to avenge Carla.
But he did the Frida thing before he knew Carla died. He just found out Carla died the same night that he injected Eren. They were in the warehouse together. Yeah?
So he had the injection before he even knew.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean, you know how we saw, I think the guy's name is Sades. It's like Saides. The commandant. The flash.
Keith, I think.
Keith.
Yeah.
The flash of memory where he's running away is when the wall broke, and Grisha is in Trost at that time. Is it safe to say that maybe he's traveling back from getting the syringe?
I think so.
Because also, why else would Eren have seen that memory if Grisha didn't already have the founding Titan power?
Dude, there's some fucking freaky, weird shit going on because, like, what are the odds that the second the power was stolen, the wall's destroyed by...
There had to be some sign to the people that Reiner and Berthold work for. I mean, we talked about maybe there is a fated prophecy that they are following.
Or, like, we have mind wipes. It could be Minutemen type situation. We know that the syringe or with this power is going to be, for the first time ever, outside of
like it's going to be
church.
Easier for them to obtain if it's given to some
Avengers
civilian.
Endgame type shit. Yeah, and like they're going to get it. Like, this is their best chance. I don't know how, but that, like, I just don't buy the wall being destroyed by Reiner and Grisha getting the founding Titan's powers. I don't, like, those things have to...
They have to be connected in some way. I mean, that'd be totally weird. Because Grisha had to have a reason to go get it at that point in time. Maybe Grisha even knew the attack was coming. Maybe it wasn't that they attacked because of knowing the power was going to be not within the family, but Grisha knew of an impending attack.
He could have been like on the same side as Reiner and Berthold, like on that side. And it was like, okay, I'll go do this for you and bring it back, but like avoid my house and my family. Mm-hmm. And then he's shocked to find out Carla died.
Maybe he was supposed to give it to them, and then he found out that his wife died in the process of this invasion that he knew about.
And then decided, okay, fuck that, avenge her. Like, they obviously didn't care, you know? It still wouldn't... I still don't understand.
He's very shocked by the fact that Carla died.
Yeah. I still don't understand why... Well, as anybody would be. Shocked to find out that their significant other died.
Unless they knew about the attack.
Yeah. But it still doesn't, like, answer the why Eren and not Grisha.
For some reason, he believes that Eren will be able to use this power better than him. It could be, like we said, the age thing, that it takes a toll on you the older you get. But there had to be some significance in Eren that he could use it better. Or it's just completely selfish and he didn't want to do the trick.
Oh, no, wait, no, we're stupid. I'm stupid. Eren didn't have, Grisha didn't have the Founding Titan's power. Someone needed to have it. He couldn't, if he injected it in himself, then he becomes a Titan, and there's no way to put him back in control.
Oh, right.
Eren,
because he's not going to eat his own son, so he injects Eren and sacrifices himself so that... Okay.
Even if he ate his own son, I don't think it would do anything. Like, it needed to be... To give... Like, if his mission was to deliver it somewhere, fine. And then in this moment, he decides he's not going to do that. The only logical explanation, if you want to hide this syringe or pass it on, is to give it to Eren and have yourself eaten, right?
Because if he did it himself, he would just turn into a Titan
and be stuck that way.
But he already has the power to turn back and forth, so he wouldn't be stuck that way.
We don't know. I don't know if it would stack or if it would turn him into a Titan.
I don't know. We're talking so much about people being...
Rain, maybe?
Oh, yeah, it's raining. I was like, what? That sounds totally spooked me. Everything's a little louder because of the mic. What was I... It is storming outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to make sure we don't lose power.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
That kind of caught me off guard, too.
I don't know what I was saying. Oh, special.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we going to believe Eren in terms of Eren saying, I'm not special, I'm just the son of someone special? Or, I mean, I think Eren was just created to be special in that moment by the circumstances he was put in.
Yeah.
He wasn't born anything other than, obviously, what his mom said. You're special because you were born into the world. That's why he was special.
Yeah. I found the mid-roll. A semi-automatic Titan extermination weapon, constructed in part by Eren Yeager's hardening ability and the wall. It can safely fell and eliminate Titans compared to previous methods. Honestly, it's a great idea. It's so smart.
You just have to use a decoy, kind of get one of the Titans to start to put their head in, and then wham. Much safer to protect the walls.
What was the shot we got that I think you said they were using it for, like, to illuminate something?
To illuminate something?
Yeah, the crystal.
Oh, they were using it as like a light source. People were like looking up at a lantern of it on the ceiling. So I guess they use it to reflect light or something. I don't know.
I'm also interested in like the fact that they're making weapons. I wonder if my dream's gonna come true and Eren's gonna get a giant weapon
made out of the heart. I mean, he could just construct one out of his hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or that they're gonna have something that their blades won't break and they don't have to worry about carrying 4 extra blades on each side.
I love that this resource, this luminescent ore, is being able to be used. I mean, I love it when like you think of civilizations as taking something and using it fully, whether it's like an animal or I don't know, just like an ore. The idea that this cavern created by Historia's family basically and by Titans and their powers can be used to benefit humanity as a resource. And like I could just imagine like the boom in like miners and like economic value that's gonna happen from that.
It's really interesting to think about. Maybe a new crown for Astoria made out of it.
Woo, I like that.
Grisha was very happy to learn that they like don't live in constant fear of the Titans. And then immediately was like, no, you're like the hope. You're a brave dude.
Well, I mean, it could be that he likes the idea that there are people open to learning about the Titans and not just hiding from them.
Yeah.
So if he has any memory that he's able to turn back and forth, I think even if the scouts were the ones killing the Titans, I would believe that I had a better chance at humanity's success with the people that are willing to learn about the Titans and go out like face to face with them.
Yeah. I really cannot wait to hopefully someday know if Grisha is from this place, from a different period of time, or from a different place.
I mean, my theory about him being related to the Beast Titan is definitely strengthened by the fact we were like, where did Grisha come from? Did he come from outside the walls?
Yeah.
And now we know that it was just a secret, and Hans just kept it a secret. They just found a guy out there.
I didn't even think about that. You're so right.
It.
Granted, Hans didn't know the details.
How
of,
much do
how
you bet other people have been found like that, and the interior police killed them because it was reported?
True. That's a good point.
How many other people have awakened from their Titan form? The scouts brought them in, or the interior police found out about them and killed them.
That's a really good point.
He just got lucky that it was freaking Hans.
Hans and Keith.
Hans saves his life, and then Hans saves Aaron's life.
I love it. Dude, that was a massive episode. That was huge.
Why do you think Keith underwent such a aesthetic change of scruff and hair to bald and goatee?
Stress. Honestly.
He sabotaged Aaron's gear.
I cannot... we talked about it, being sabotaged potentially when it happened. But
I suspect him. We liked him. We were like... When he said the thing about Grisha, I was like, ooh, he's a friend of Grisha, thunder.
Yeah.
He's a friend of Grisha. I thought he was rooting Aaron on, is the energy I got from it.
Yeah. But I love it. I love that happened.
He could have been rooting him on slightly because he does have his mother's eye. What is it? You have your mother's eyes, but there's fangs in there of your father's.
I mean, at the end of the day, Keith isn't outside the walls anymore. He's not a scout. He knows what that looks like. It recontextualizes everything Aaron's parents said to him whenever he brought up the scouts at the beginning of the show.
Was sabotaging the gear in order to keep Carla's son alive since Carla died? Was it trying to ruin Grisha's master plan? Was it a mix of all of these things?
I wonder what Keith thinks happened to Grisha.
If Keith had love for Aaron's mother, no matter how much hatred he might have had towards Grisha, he has to care for Aaron, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To some degree.
I think so.
Especially if Aaron looks like his mother, and by how his mother spoke about Aaron when Aaron was a baby to Keith.
The way that Grisha's although there's economic inequality, there's peace within the walls. I could see that as somebody who's has seen different ways to go about dealing with Titans, and this is one of them.
Yeah, he's seen different civilizations, and he's even probably seen the fall of other civilizations and what economic inequality could look like non-peacefully inside walls.
It's one community's idea of the closest thing
It's like
to a
he's
utopia.
a history teacher and he's looking at all these different societies and what happened to them.
So interesting. Oh my gosh.
Historia is freaking taking care of the orphans in the underground, like
Amazing. Like,
and she has the support of Levi. Oh,
I absolutely love it. This is a great episode.
Berlin and
man.
Isabel would be so proud of Levi for, oh my god. Not only did he survive, but he was a part of basically protecting kids just like them. Also, we now have this new energy of new people joining the Scouts because of this newfound, like, hope and excitement.
That excitement's gonna waver very soon.
I mean, they're definitely... the energy they had was a little too excited, kind of in that cocky way where they were like, this is going to be fun.
We've seen it with our characters.
Yeah, we saw that change, that shift with them, before and the after fighting, after seeing friends die.
Man, like you really can tell, like they don't look the same. I hardly recognize
He
you
says
all
it's been a
anymore.
few months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all of them, it's kind of cool just from an art perspective, how slowly they've kind of hardened and aged.
Yeah.
Just purely in the art form, and it's very effective. I mean, think of like when you see pictures of people who went off to war and then when they get back, like from like old war pictures.
Yeah.
They look totally different.
It's kind of
even
like
if it's only been like a year or less.
It's kind of like a picture of a president before and after their term.
Those are also really different too. Yeah. Okay. Well. Grisha has the same hairstyle as the Beast Titan, just without glasses.
Yeah. I really just I hope that one day we're able to see this event play out from Grisha's perspective.
Like hear how it felt and what happened to him from him. Like how everything played out and why he chose to do what he did.
Not
or like a Ymir's awakening scene that we got, but with Grisha.
Like I want to be in his head right now. Like I want to him being like we get different perspectives of the same story several times in this show, but like him waking up or whatever, him walking up and saying, "Don't tell me you're fighting." Like I want to know why he thought that. Like why those words? Like why that I hope is something that the Orangutan, if they are related, could like give us like, oh, you knew Grisha. This is why he was sent out, and this is what he knew before then. Like, there's so many blanks about Grisha's past.
Do you think that he was
filled in.
Do you think he was just there in his Titan form, saw the Scouts, saw people running to him from the walls, and turned into his human form? Because we know the Beast Titan can go back and forth, and we know Reiner and all of them can also do it. It's either that Grisha was fully in Titan form here and ate one of the Scouts before this guy came around the corner.
Ate somebody who had the power to turn into a Titan.
Yeah, but who else is outside of the walls Scouts, in this specific scene, when all the Scouts are running around? It would have had to be a Scout with that power, or he already had the power to begin with to turn back and forth, and he saw them coming and decided to try to communicate.
That could be it, and that it could have been his long-term mission. I mean, if we are running with the theory of him trying to deliver this, like the syringe of the founding Titan to Reiner and Berthold, then it could have been like a long con. Like, okay, go over there, act like you're just it's like a spy.
It also brings up children might not have been their first option of who to send.
Yeah.
And if Grisha failed to retrieve it and come back, maybe children is all they had left to try to go get it.
Interesting. There's so many different ways this can play out, and I'm so excited to see.
I didn't expect we were going to get Grisha this episode.
I love Grisha's, I love him in the show.
I feel sadder, but also really, really nice about the amount that we now know about Aaron's mom. I don't think we were ever supposed to know a great deal because I think she's the embodiment of not special. She is just a normal lady, you know?
What's wrong with not being special?
There's
right?
nothing wrong with not being special. And she's basically the embodiment of that. And I think we have a decent kind of amount of her. And I don't think we need any more. Maybe she could be used in other areas, flashback wise, when it comes to when we learn more about Grisha.
Yeah.
And his point of view. But I think that this was kind of perfect, just a device for Eren to have this flashback where he learns what his mom said about him.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm a sucker for?
What? Babies? Anime
No.
babies?
No. Whenever the ending credits are on, like,
Oh,
a
yeah.
show.
I love when they
Like,
start playing before
instead
the
of it
show's
being
over.
like the outro, like I love that so much.
I mean, it does make you feel like it's either the last episode of the season or nearing the end when it does stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is like the second to last episode of the season.
If I'm honest, I
possibly.
have no idea.
I think it's a 12 episode-y thingamajig. That
But-
definitely gives the energy that it is.
It definitely gives the energy that it is, but I'm not sure.
But also, like, what would be a season ending if it was? I honestly, like, because it's going to take some travel time to get to the basement. So what could be such a monumental enough season ending if we were ending here?
I don't know.
We all rode off into the sunset, all, like, with renewed confidence and hope and happiness and some choir children singing. So where do we go with that?
It was so surreal seeing Grisha like outside the walls being like interacted with. I don't know, man. We've come such a far way.
Well, thank you for surprising me, Attack on Titan. Thank you for doing some things that I wasn't sure about, didn't know about, didn't have a guess for. Eren's mom was a babe, and I'm sure tons of soldiers were in love with her.
Big facts. Like, I don't know what he was weighing here. What, like in his like doctor's office, it looks like salt or white powder. Maybe like he brought this jar with him, and it's like a fix-all medicine.
Or it's like a ground up Titan compound of ore. Maybe it's something he creates. That's what the basement is. Like we said, it's not mad scientist lab, but it's also like he creates like medicine in there.
Yeah. It's a bigger question to me now, what's in the basement, than ever before, I think, because like it's all dependent on Grisha's mission or what his intention was here.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe he did come with a mission and then stop the mission because I mean, think about how Reiner and Berthold felt. They were like, we have started to care about people here, you know?
It could be like a backup plan.
They've started to forget that they were warriors.
Yeah.
And what if that same thing happened to Grisha because he fell in love, got married, had a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's no longer going to throw that all away.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm good. You?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you